Okay, next job is to check the level of oil in the gearbox, and what you need to do for that is there's a plug. Oh, let's see if I can get to it and we can see it. There, yeah, that's the gearbox level plug. So basically you unscrew that, and if oil dribbles out, then there's enough oil in the gearbox. And if it doesn't dribble out, then you need to add more. Okay, so we're just going to take that plug out and see what happens. Okay, I've removed the plug and there's no sign of any oil dripping out whatsoever. So definitely need to top up the gearbox. So I will remove the sort of inspection cap here, so we can put in some gearbox oil, top it up through there. Okie doke, so I've just gone to get my gearbox oil to top up the gearbox, and I haven't got any. I've got lots of oils, but I haven't got any gearbox oil. You want an EP gearbox oil, that's extreme pressure, and you want a 90, about a 90, but you can use less. I'm just having to see how much oil is in the gearbox. Yeah, it's not too bad. It's just a bit. You might just be able to see on the left there. That's the hole where the see if I can get it to focus down there. That's up there. No, just focus. It's gone now. That's where the level plug screws in, and you can see the level is about a quarter of an inch probably below that that thread hole there. So we're not too bad. But anyway, I've just ordered some more gearbox oil. So I'll carry on doing other things until that arrives. I've just checked the level of fluid in the rear brake cylinder. Obviously, this is just for an 850 Mark III with its rear disc. And I just topped it up very slightly. You have to be careful, of course, because you've got those big sort of strange sort of rubber things that fill up half of the reservoir. So if you overfill, when you put the rubber thing in, it spills over. But I just topped it up a little bit, and we seem to be fine. And it was all clear. The fluid was clear. There's no need to change it. If it's a bit, dirty and what's that sort of like brownish colour, your fluid, then it needs changing. But this is fine, so I just topped it up, so that's okay. Okay, next job is to check the level of oil in the primary chain case. So this being a Mark III, I've got a level plug here. Remove that. Yeah. And we've got a bit more oil than we should have, which I kind of expected, because I think it's been leaking through from the crankcase. So it'll be engine oil. Well, I use engine oil in there anyway, but there's a fair bit in there. The trouble is, if there's too much oil in there, then you will get clutch slip. It does tend to engender clutch slip if you have too much oil in there. And I think that's possibly what's been happening, is that oil's been seeping through from the crankcase into the primary chain case. Yeah, there's a fair bit too much oil in there. I'm not too worried about it, but like I say, the only real problem is it tends to create clutch slip, but it won't do any harm having too much oil in there apart from that. And if your clutch isn't slipping, then, well, that's okay. Right, so it's finished coming out there, so I'll put the plug back in. I put a new rubber O-ring seal on that because there was a bit of smidge of oil around it, so just make sure it doesn't leak. Of course, if this wasn't an 850 Mark III, we'd be taking this cover off, or at least we'd be opening it to have a look at the primary chain tension and adjusting that. But this is a Mark III, 850 Mark III, and this has, of course, an automatic chain tensioner fitted, so there's no way of checking the tension, primary chain tension. So let's hope that the automatic tensioner is indeed working. The only way of checking it is really to take the casing off, because we've got inspection here for setting the timing, inspection cover there for adjusting the clutch, which we don't need to do because the clutch action is really good at the moment, so I'm just leaving it. But yeah, if this was not a Mark III, we'd be opening that up and checking and adjusting the primary chain tension, but we don't do it on an 850 Mark III. It's probably leaking through. There's an oil seal at the back of the main bearing, and to stop oil coming through from the crankcase. But maybe that's a brand new oil seal, but for whatever reason it doesn't seem to be working. So what I'll do is I'll keep my eye on the level of oil in the primary chain case, and if it gets really bad, then I'll have to take the primary off and take all the primary chain and that off and put a new oil seal back there. But if it's only a little bit of extra oil now and again, then I'm not going to bother, because it's a big job. And it doesn't really do any harm having extra oil in there. The only harm you're really going to have is if the clutch starts slipping, and mine's not slipping, so leave as is.